This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Shalom Aleichem, Bruchim Habayim. We're continuing in the Mishna Sofrim. Today we're learning Gimel and Daled. So I heard before you were speaking about the what the Mishna Berura brought down from the Beis Yosef, that l'chadchila, the ukats of the left tag of the upper yud should be aligned with the ukats of the right tag of the lower yud, like we had yesterday in diagram 9. So, except for in diagram 9, that's the only time the two ukatsim are aligned. That was what Mendy pointed out at the Shiur, at the end of the Shiur yesterday. I spoke to a Sefer, Rabbi Aryeh Shechter, who wrote the Sefer Pischei Shiurim, and he said that basically we allow it to be aligned on Ba'alaksan, on a diagonal. I'm not sure still if they are aligned, And he said that the way Chabad makes the Aleph is that they curve the tag of the upper yud. Mamish goes out and makes a left turn so that when you make the line, it will be aligned. Let me see. I could actually send it. I'm gonna put it up on the screen. Let me see if I could do that. That's how they make the. That's how they make the yud. That's how they make the yud of the Aleph. Let's see where I have it. Oh. Yeah, I'm going to send it right now. So you'll see how, at least according to their tradition, the ukatsim are aligned. Let's see if it's coming up here. Yep, here we go. Could you see it? If you look at the Aleph, you see how they make the ukats of the Aleph, even though technically if you make a line, it wouldn't go, but they curve it so much to the left, so then it is basically aligned. That's how this in the Sefer Torah of Chabad they make the Aleph. Or here you see. So basically if you made a line, it's pretty good. It's better than in our Sefer Torah. But it sounds like what we do is we rely on that it's aligned, but alaksain. Okay, let's go back to our diagram. Okay, here we go. So Baruch Hashem, yesterday we studied the Aleph and the Beis, and today you'll be able to tell your family you learned Gimel and Daled. Okay, so Ois Gimel. Mamish, you need a picture for every clause in this Mishna Sofrim. Ois Gimel tia gufa kamay zayin. Like in diagram 1, the Ois Gimel, the body of it is like a zayin. Now the zayin, the lower leg is straight. This is going to curve a little bit to the right. Every left head of the letter Shatnez Gates, the shin, the left head of the shin, the ayin, the tes, the nun, the zayin, the gimel, and the tzadi, they all are doimel l'zayin. V'yia roisha av. Its head should be thick, like in diagram 5 Aleph, as opposed to diagram 5 Beis. It's supposed to have a thick head. Okay? The regel yamin dak. The right leg should be thin, like in diagram 6, not thick, like in 6 Beis. The yorid ma'at lamata yoiser miyarech small. Look at this, very important. The right leg of the Gimel should go lower than the left leg. You see that? You see how the right leg goes lower than the left leg, like in diagram 7. It goes a little bit lower. V'lo yaseh yarech zeh hasmal b'shipua harba. The left leg should not be very diagonal, like it just kicked somebody. Take it easy. Don't give such a kick. The Gimel should not be that slanted. Elo ma'at, a little bit like in diagram 9. V'gam lo yeh akoim, it should not be bent over. right? This Gimel, it's a little bit bent over in diagram 10. Ela yimshach b'shaveh, look in diagram 11. It should, both the top and the bottom should draw straight. The yagvienu k'tzatz connected to daled, slightly lifted up to the daled. The hayarech small yamoshach k'tzas av el hazayin. Okay, this is important. The left leg should be a little bit thick. To the Zayin. Veloy bedakos. Not thin. In other words, the connection over here of the left leg should have some body to it. Shabetzida. Veloy bedakos. Now this is the difficult part about every letter. And that is, let's see, number 14. Okay. Sorry. This is okay. Ki tmunasa shatia niras kamin nun kfufa. It should basically look like a nun, a bent over nun. This is number 14. Basically, the Gimel should look like a nun. Meaning, okay, and number 13 is better. Okay, it looks like a nun. It should have some body over here. Forget this leg, the right leg of the Gimel. The left leg should be like the bottom of a nun. The leg should be low. Now this is very interesting. The yarech should be low. You see this leg? It's low. Why? In order to put close to its head. Put what close to its head? This is very difficult Mishna Berura line to read. Here he's saying the leg should be low so you could be able to approach its head. So it means like this. This is how the Pe'er Halacha understands it. If the leg of the Gimel is going to be high, then Mr. Daled will never be able to approach the Gimel. There's no room because the leg is in a heightened position. For Mr. Daled to be able to approach the head of the Gimel, the leg of the Gimel has to be low. Okay? So that's how he understands it. We have to have this leg low so the Daled could sort of approach the head of the Gimel. The Gimel tagin al roisha. It should have 3 tagim on its head, like in diagram 5. Im nidbak hayarech b'haregel. If the leg gets attached to, if the thigh gets attached to the foot, if the leg gets attached to the foot, in other words, this is the yarech. The thicker part is the yarech. This is the regel. If the yarech and the regel become connected, yigra hayarech. Just scrape it. V'dai b'kach. That's good enough. Chumash mavor b'simalam beis. Sif yud ches l'inyan greiras hachartam. Just like over there, we talk about scraping the nose of a mem. The dine hatagin, the laws of tagin is bar b'soif simanzeh b'Mishna Berura ayin sham. Okay, Rabbi say that is the letter Gimel. That is the letter Gimel. Let's move on to letter Daled. Ois Daled. Okay, you ready for that? Your neshama is very happy now to learn about the letter Daled. Now, by the way, the correct pronunciation is Dalet with a tuf at the end, or Deles. It's not Daled. Daled Lamed Daled. Yeah. I just had an issue with that. You know, I was saying over on Sunday, a very beautiful Ben Yehoyada. Ben Yehoyada says if you look at the nistar of the word Adam, so Aleph is Aleph Lamed Pei, Dalet is Dalet Lamed. I'll leave off the last letter for a moment, and Mem is Mem Mem. And if you take the nistar of Adam, you get Mispalel, which shows the essence of man is Tefillah. So I'm thinking, well, wait a second. You have the Lamed and the Pei, the Lamed and the Daled, and the Mem. So where do you get Mispalel? It's Midbala. And then I realized that Daled is Daled Lamed Tuf. Okay? So just bear in mind, Daled is Daled Lamed Tuf. Deles, door. Anyway, The ois dalet. Tzarche gaga viragla kitsara. Its roof and foot should be short. One second. Oh, there's missing a word over here. So, one second. I'm on the wrong page. Oh. Tzarche gaga orach, it should say. Yeah. Tzarche gaga orach. They add a word. The roof should be long. Okay? So you see long, it's 3 kulmasim. You see it's 3 kulmasim here? It's 3 kulmasim long. The ragla katsara, its leg is short. Its leg is 2 kulmasim. She'im tehi ragla arucha migaga, if the leg is going to be longer than the roof, tidamala kaf shut, it's going to look like a endachaf, a final chaf. V'tipaso, kishalay yikrena tinak dalet, if the kid is not going to read it like a dalet. Ulcharchila tzarch shetehe haregel pshuta. This is interesting. The leg of the dalet should be slightly sloped to the right side, like in diagram 3. You see in diagram 3, it's slightly sloped to the right side. There should be a small tag on the top of the roof to the left. Now, by the way, not sure whether it's referring to this or the uka or the thorn. I'm assuming, like we learned in previous letters, like we learned in the ois beis, that's referring to this tag over here, not to the thorn over there. Okay. The tzarch moed lizar beribua. You got to be very careful in making sure that the dalet is squared. Okay, like in diagram 5. Because if you're not careful and there is karesh, it's going to look like a resh v'tipasai de kriyasatinai. Ulechatchila, but lechatchila, it's not enough just to square it off, like in picture 1. That should be a square, but it should be aveh. It's not enough that it has a sharp right corner, milachra from behind. Elagam yehela shem akev toiv. It should have a nice thick heel. Okay, akev toiv. It should have some body to it on the right side. Why? Okay, so this is always going to be the hard part, understanding what are the segments that make up a letter. We know what a dalet is. A dalet is 2 vavs. Here, look in diagram 7. A dalet is 2 vavs, one backward vav and one vav facing upward. So you have vav. So in order to get that vav facing the other way, you need to have a thick akev. My beis vavim segurim, they're locked. Locked means if they would be facing the other way, their opening would be toward you. They would be open. Locked means you see their closed side. Okay, so you have this locked vav, that locked vav. So this vertical locked vav, in order to fulfill that, you need a thick akev. The ha'akev hu keneged roish havav. The heel is by the head of the vav. Ha'echad v'ha'ukutz sha'al paneha hu keneged roish havav hashniya. And the ukutz that's on top of it, that's this ukutz in beis, is opposite the roish of the second vav, which means the akev is by the head of the first vav, the ukatz is by the head of the second vav. Okay. Now, what if imregel hadalis ein boirak kimlo yud? By the way, you see how he spells all these letters? They have yuds in them. So beis is beis yud taf. Gimel is gimel yud mem lamed. Dalet is dalet lamed yud taf. Imregel hadalis ein boirak kimlo yud. If the dalet is a short midget dalet, it's only 1 kulmas tall, kosher. It's still kosher v'ayin b'soif ois taf. Im kasav hey b'makom dalet. If you wrote a hey instead of a dalet, so you wrote a hey, so you say no problem, I'll scrape it off. No pal, That means you're making it a dalid by scraping. That's chak tuchos. Ain't takana ligra haregal. Olaniach hadalid me'ach shenifsal. Because once it was pasul v'doimel tzuras heloy ovid midi, you're not doing anything to the gufa ois. V'ava chak tuchos. So you say, I'll do something to the gufa ois. I'll make the gufa ois instead of 3 kolmasim, 5, 6 kolmasim long. No, that doesn't do anything because already you're not adding. Anytime the tzura of the ois was not ruined, you need to erase the roof. Like in diagram 10, you're going to erase the roof, make it no longer a dalet. It's going to turn to a zayin or a vav. Ad shehei ketzuras vav. Umashlima, then you fill it in. Or you scrape off the right leg, like in number 11. So now it's not a dalet anymore. And you don't even leave off a yud amount, because we saw before if the leg is like a yud, it's good. And then you fill it in. Okay, Mar Rabbi, tomorrow we're gonna try for ois hey and vav. Okay, thanks everybody for joining. Have an amazing day.
Rabbi, if you don't see me the next couple of days, I'm going to Eretz Yisrael for 10 days. Tomorrow.
Have a great trip. Say hello to Rabbi Yeager.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.